Welcome everybody to Topless Topics, the channel that seeks to destigmatize female toplessness through repeat exposure. I am your host, Cleo, and today I want to talk to you about how Facebook is not so secretly recording literally everything you type and post at all times, and you should not rely on it for private conversations, especially among things that can get you arrested, like talking about abortion in a red-lead state. Yeah. However, if you are watching this right now, you are unfortunately watching the heavily censored patriarchy-approved version of this video. If you have never heard of me before, I advocate for topless equality. Unfortunately, have years and years and hundreds of screenshots of being banned for mere female nipples, censored or not, including right here on YouTube. So I make these handmade tale versions of my videos so to try to make them a little less likely to get banned. If you would like to see the non-handmade tale, non-patriarchy approved version of this video, you can go over to my website, which I'm scared to even link to because YouTube has literally hit me with strikes saying I was linking to porn before, just for linking to my own website. But whatever, fuck it, YOLO. It's toplesstopics.org, or this URL here, to, like I said, see the non-patriarchy approved version of this video. It's basically exactly the same, just without the handmade outfit. So, alright, hopefully see you there, and go ahead and leave a comment with your thoughts, and if you'd like to support me, you can look me up on the socials. Not Twitter anymore, I quit Twitter. Fucking Elon Musk, long story. Anyway, alright, let's get into it. I hate when YouTubers say let's get into it. It sounds so cliche. I don't know how my hair is. My hair feels very fluffy right now. I took a shower earlier and basically I have like one day of fluff, one day of good hair, and then one day of grease trap. Like that's how my hair do. Okay. Hello and welcome everybody to Topless Topics, the channel that seeks to destigmatize female toplessness through repeat exposure. I am your host Cleo, and today I am here to talk to you about how Facebook, Instagram, etc. are not so secretly spying on literally everything you type and post. Yes, even in your alleged private messages. So what got me on the subject of Facebook messages not being as private as they claim? Well, I was dropping my son off at daycare, listening to the only radio talk show program I have ever found, the Tom Hartman program, and he was talking about a story that is going on right now. Over in Nebraska, a mother and child are currently being legally prosecuted by the state for talking about getting an abortion over Facebook Messenger. By the way, I'm live streaming as I record this, and then I'm gonna also live stream while I edit this. I started doing that on Tuesdays and Thursdays on joystick.tv /u/toplesstopics, and then I also stream it into the Discord for people who are a Patreon member or Promo Squad member. So if you want to watch the behind the scenes when I record and edit videos, you can check that out. Go ahead and join our Discord, and you can ask about it, toplesstopics.org/chat. But yeah. Anyway, so you can find information about this from a variety of sources, but like this one from NBCnews.com says, quote, Facebook turned over chat messages between mother and daughter now charged over abortion. Facebook turned over the chats of a mother and her daughter to Nebraska police after they were served with a warrant as part of an investigation into an illegal abortion, court documents show. You can go read the whole story, but yeah, basically the police were tipped somehow about this conversation, and then they went to Facebook and were like, give us the messages, and Facebook was like, okay! It's just, I wanted to do this video because there is a large percentage of people out there who, shockingly, are not very technologically aware. I try to learn, but I admit a lot of the, especially like internet security stuff, goes way over my head. Case in point, like I said, I was live streaming while I was writing the script for this, and I was trying to ask for some clarification on what some of these terms mean from my more techie friends, subscribers, whatever you want to call them, and I could not wrap my head around what they were saying. I tried, but yeah, we basically had to like reach a compromise of like, you know, I got a very small inkling of what they were saying. But why I wanted to do this video is because I wanted to do my best to kind of explain why you have to not rely on centralized corporate entities like Facebook and Twitter and everything when they say, oh, it's a private message. Private is a subjective term that can be twisted around to meet the needs of, you know, promoting whatever it is that service is. Just because something says it's private, don't believe them, okay? So after I was listening to this story on the radio, I got home, I took a shower, and as usually happens, while I was in the shower, these ideas were percolating, and I was thinking, like, what do I want to say about this? And I had this idea that I wanted to share. It'll never happen because corporations own, you know, lawmakers, but wouldn't it be cool if in those terms of service, you know, the long legalese shit that every single one of us is just like, yeah, okay, fine. What if there was a requirement that at the front of every terms of service, there had to be a panel agreed upon summary of what they were saying in language that non-academically trained lawyers can actually understand? Can you imagine, instead of just like making it this huge fucking book of incomprehensible language where even if you do try to take the time to read it, you don't know what the fuck they're saying, they have to summarize what each point means at the beginning and have a, you know, good faith panel of people who are trying to represent, you know, people like us to not get screwed over, read through it, make sure that that summary is accurate, and give people an actual informed way of making sure what they sign over. Wouldn't that be cool? But like I said, yeah, corporations own lawmakers. That'll never happen. You can make a change.org, you know, petition and get 12 billion jillion signatures and nothing would ever change. But just wanted to share that. Just a thought I had. But anyway, moving on. But back to the program I was listening to. After the host was talking about this story in Nebraska, he had a woman call in who was saying that she is a professional photographer. She's a professional photographer. She's a professional photographer, and she was saying that she talked to a lawyer and Facebook can't take away copyright from her photos just for posting it. And the host, Tom, was like, where are you getting this information? And she said she talked to a lawyer, but then she started talking about how some guy said that he could like take her pictures and post it, and she was saying that's illegal. And Tom was rightly pointing out, those are entirely separate things. Some random person can't like see your post and then like save your picture and then re-upload it, you know, and be like, oh, I saw this thing, you know, or even claim it as their own loss. That, you know, is illegal. As far as Facebook taking ownership of whatever you post, it's in the terms of service. It's, you know, like I said, all that legalese shit that even if you take the time to try to understand, most of us won't. It's there. Could you try to countersue them, blah, blah, blah? Maybe, but they're a billion, jillion fucking dollar corporation. I mean, they've lost a lot of money on that train wreck attempt at VR. That's a whole thing. But they're gonna win. So just be aware, you know, anything you post on any, you know, this video on YouTube right now, YouTube can just decide to do what the fuck ever they want with it. They can cut sections out of it. They can, you know, use it on promotional, whatever. I can't do anything about it because by posting it on YouTube, they now have ownership of this video. Would it look good from a PR angle if they did start cutting up my video and stuff? No. Are they likely to do it? No. But nonetheless, that exists. Another thought to throw in there that I was having in this shower of illumination is, imagine you're a content creator. Imagine you're a you know, person capable of having a baby, content creator, and you're in a Republican state. You went out of the state to get an abortion that's legal in the other state, and then you come back to the Republican state and you make a video about how you got an abortion. There's literally attempts being made at legislation right now, I think Texas is one of the places, where it would make it legal for them to prosecute you because you went to another state to have an abortion, because abortions are illegal in that Republican state. That is literally on the books right now. That is how fucking serious this shit is, okay? So, again, back to Facebook. I did actually sort of write a script for this. I'm trying to be somewhat on the book, but normally I don't. I just, like, go off, so... This is the best I can do. Going back to the idea of like ownership of posts when it gets posted to Facebook or whatever, I've noticed that there seems to be this like loophole where people get away with posting other people's content if they do it as like a screenshot. Like, how many times do you see a popular tweet get screenshotted and posted to some completely unrelated account, or like a stolen meme or whatever? Now with memes it gets a little bit more dicey because argument could be made that true memes are meant to be shared, but so many times people will take someone else's tweet or whatever, and even if they do include the name of the original person who made that tweet, when you post it, especially to Instagram, when you post that to Instagram and people are liking and commenting, the person who stole the screenshot and posted it is the one getting that engagement, is the one getting all that social media engagement. So there are fucking accounts with millions of subscribers who do nothing but post screenshots of other people's content. Why? How does that, how is that allowed? Anyway, but what I finally wanted to get into with this video, if you're still with me, thank you for your patience, is I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the alternative messaging platforms that have been mentioned that I've seen other people talking about, and other ones that are not so well known, but that people that know more about internet security than I do are saying is better. Not perfect. There's no such thing as like a perfect, completely secure, you know, can never be hacked, can never be shared in any way with anyone besides the people that, you know, are having a conversation. But the closest we can get to that. So, first of all, I'm going to try to define. I'm going to try to define some of the words that you hear a lot in conversation about info security. I spent 2 hours, literally, talking to my techie friends as I was live streaming while I was writing this script, trying to figure out how to break these very complicated concepts down into, like, you know, 1 or 2 line definitions. We could not reach a consensus. I eventually was just like, guys, this is the best I can do. I understand it's not a perfect representation of what that word means, but this is me attempting to break it down in a way that people who don't understand why Facebook Messenger is not good to use to at least kind of understand. And it's not, I'm not talking down to you. I'm saying that these are very complicated things that I, a person who is actively looking to be informed on these subjects, even I don't understand. So this is me attempting to, like, bridge the gap between the super techie and the not super techie, because I think that, you know, internet security is important. I think that we just don't really think about it. I mean, for years and years and years and years now, you know, ever since, like, Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and everything got really, really popular, people are just so like, yeah, well, they have my private data, but who cares, you know? First of all, it's gross to have, like, all these ad things like recording your conversations and giving you targeted ads everywhere you go. Creepy. But as I said at the beginning of this video, like, we are having straight up actual arrests and legal prosecutions and stuff of people based on what they're saying on these private messengers. So even though you might be like, well, you know, whatever, like, I'm not getting an abortion, so who cares? You don't know what's going to become illegal next. You do not know how this far-right Supreme Court is going to change legislation. You do not know what is going to become, you know, something that you can be sued or whatever by. And even if it happened in the past, there's literally stuff on the books right now that would make it capable of prosecuting people for stuff that happened even before that law passed. It's corrupt as fuck, but that's what happens when you have horrible people in charge of the government. Anyway, so here are my very poor attempts at defining what these words mean, and I will have a whole bunch of links on the page for this video, which you can visit here, which is, you know, where you can get a more thorough description of what these mean. Yeah, so don't consider this like a little preview, a little taste, a little wine tasting of what these subjects sort of are, and then throw it all out the window and go here and read these links and actually understand what it is, because I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is me doing my best to make this, you know, somewhat coherent. So what is the first word that you see thrown around a lot in internet security conversations? First of all, encrypted. Encrypted. Messages are transcoded to coded gibberish, you know, like letters, numbers, blah, 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 that require a special key to translate. So the average person cannot stumble into your private conversations, and even if a court of law forced the platform to turn over your messages, because of that encrypted key, the messages that they get will not make any sense. Unfortunately, the court can still also require the key to be furnished, and so it's not, again, there's no such thing as like a perfect perfect platform, but that's kind of what encrypted means. I don't know what that means either. But yeah, basically it's instead of being able to just directly look at a message, you look at the message and it's gibberish, and then you need this like code or key to make it not gibberish. I hate this video. I hate this. I already know like all the tech people are gonna be like, you're stupid! Like I know, I'm trying. Okay, next word, private. Again, kind of a your mileage may vary word, depending on what your purposes are. But let's say for the purposes of this conversation, private means that only the named participants can see it. However, messages can be private but not encrypted, meaning they can still be handed over by court order or hacked into. So, different things. I don't really understand it, but that was my attempt at summarizing it. The way that a friend described it to me is that encrypted and not private would be like someone looking through a window into the room you're in, but you're speaking a language that they can't understand. Private but not encrypted would mean you're speaking English in a room, but someone can open the window. And the last word is protocol. It's sort of like a programming language. This is the code that the various apps and programs use to communicate data. So it's like, yeah, it's like the coding. It's not the app itself. So when I say protocol, don't worry about it. That's what it means. Again, there's many, many layers that I am not equipped to explain. And if you are a tech person, please don't be mad at me. I'm trying. Again, go to the page and look at the links that I'm going to post. Maybe if there's enough people wanting me to, I can try to do a future video that I prepare for better, because I literally had the idea for this one today, where I will come up with better small descriptions of what these things are. If you know of any videos like that, let me know. I'll also include them in the links. But yeah, all right. So those words. Hopefully we have understanding somewhat of what those mean. Let's get into the actual platforms, services, apps, protocols, whatever you want to call them. So one that I want to get into right away are Mastodon DMs. Mastodon you might have heard of recently. It's a whole other thing that way too much to get into. A lot of people have been switching to Mastodon instances since Elon Musk A lot of people have been switching to Mastodon since Elon Musk took over Twitter because they're sick of the Nazis and the hacking and everything like that. I do like Mastodon. I think that there are issues with it. It can be very intimidating to use. There's still a lot of stuff about it I don't really understand. But I just want to let people know who might have made the switch that Mastodon DMs, direct messages, are not private. They are open to any moderator on that instance, and an instance is basically like a website server, but they can communicate with each other. Again, whole other video. Any mod on that server can see it. And also, it's not encrypted, so people can find those comments and, read them if they have the technical know-how. Also, anyone mentioned in that DM can read it. So like when you reply to something, even if you switch your reply to DM, if it has the person you're replying to and the other people that were in the thread and you don't take that out of your message, everyone will see that DM. So be careful who you're shit talking. But yeah, if it's something that you don't really want searchable or something like that, you can put it in a DM, but don't trust that as like the end all be all of security. But Mastodon is good for many other purposes, and I will be doing a video sometime in the future about what I like and don't like about Mastodon, so look forward to that. Another one that has been getting mentioned for years is Snapchat. And Snapchat is an interesting one in that it was always pushed out as this like private blah 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 blah. But again, those words can be twisted to mean kind of whatever you want. Snapchat is actually incredibly not private, not encrypted, none of that. Messages are in plain text, aka not coded, which means that they can be shared with anyone off the platform or anywhere on the platform without your permission. They've also been hacked into multiple times, and especially at risk is the metadata with your posts. So for instance, if you post from a certain location, it will be in your metadata where you posted that from. So hey stalkers! It's funny because the most I hear from Snapchat is when I get messages from people in other countries who want me to do porn for them, and it's always, what's your Snapchat or what's your WhatsApp? Like, I guess those are the main, things for exchanging porn in countries where porn is not allowed. I don't know. It's just funny to me because that's pretty much whenever I hear Snapchat, it's I want porn. Anyway, another one is called Matrix. It is private and encrypted to private rooms, so like basically like a group chat. and person to person. I use it sometimes. I don't use it very often because, to be honest, most of my conversations, I'm not like really talking about anything too wild. Yes, maybe someday in the future, it will be illegal to be topless in your own home, and I will, you know, or topless in front of my kids, you know, because like I breastfed them. Oh my God. Thank God I don't live in Utah. Another one I hear mentioned a lot is Signal. And Signal, I've seen multiple arguments both for and against it from different tech people. It depends on who you ask for information. It is encrypted and private, but it's attached to your phone number. So if you lose your phone number, you totally lose access to that Signal account and all the conversations that you've participated in. There have also been events in the past where Signal was hacked into and those phone numbers were leaked. Not what was in the messages, but nonetheless the phone numbers were linked. So that's something you have to be aware of. If you lose access to that number, you will lose access to all those conversations. Session is another one. It is encrypted and private, and it doesn't record a phone number. However, you have to keep track of security keys to be able to log back in. So if you lose your security key, you will never be able to get back into that account, and you will never get to access any of those messages. So again, gotta keep track of that stuff. Otherwise, you will never be able to access it again. Talks is a highly rated one. It is directly peer-to-peer, so there's no middle service where normally, you know, you send the message to Facebook and then Facebook sends the message to the person. It just goes straight from person to person. There is nothing recorded on the internet. It is a file that is on your device, and the person who's receiving it gets it on their device, like a, you know, not physical, but you know, a file, not a cloud uploaded thing. And it can't be decrypted because it's a direct file transfer. There's nothing to decrypt. However, that is a physical file, so if someone steals your phone or computer or whatever it is on, they would be able to see it. So it's good as long as you're careful that no one steals your shit, which, you know, you should be careful of anyway, but stuff gets stolen. It happens, you know, blah, blah, Hunter Biden's laptop, fucking idiots. Anyway, yeah, so that's Talks. Final one that has been mentioned to me is Briar. And by the way, I never heard of most of these before I started doing this video, so don't feel bad if you've never heard of them either. Briar is P2P, you know, person to person, direct connection, whatever you want to call it, that can be used on Wi-Fi Direct, which is when devices basically make their own little tiny server for communicating for a time being. It was described to me that's usually used when you use your phone to send something to a printer, which is something I've never had work for me. So, but yeah, you can use Briar P2P. You can also even use it on Bluetooth. So say you're at a protest or something like that and you're trying to communicate with people, you could literally just turn your Bluetooth on, and in the rare instance that you actually get Bluetooth to work, Bluetooth hates me, I've tried years, blah, blah, blah. But pretending that we could get Bluetooth to work, you could both have your phones and you could be like messaging each other in the middle of a protest and not have that file be discoverable. You can also set those files to auto delete. So it's like writing secret messages in beach sand, and then, you know, the water comes up and washes it away, and there never was a message except for, you know, what's in your head. So at least you're safe until we get to that sci-fi future that Elon Musk is working towards, where we can literally like have our thoughts recorded, you know, Minority Report type shit. Until that happens. So yeah, great to use Briar in environments where you might be legally prosecuted for, you know, having an abortion in a totally different state. Because red states are fascist. So those are just a few of the ones that I either knew about or were brought up to me when I was talking about this to other techie people. There's no perfect consensus on what the best program is. I was talking to one internet security person who said that he likes Signal. Another one, Zan, who's very active in our Discord and Mastodon and everything like that, doesn't like Signal. He uses Session. But yeah, you kind of have to just like look at the charts and everything, which again, I'll have a link on the page for this video so you can like weigh the pros and cons yourself and decide what you want to use. Basically, how much at risk you want to put yourself in fascist governments of getting arrested or just, you know, having your data leaked online or whatever. Basically, be really careful about what you're putting out there and what can be done to you if that knowledge gets out there. I'm not advocating criming. I'm not telling you these are your ways that you can do stuff without getting caught by the government. If you are in a red state and you need an abortion, do be careful about saying anything about it, even if it's just, I went to another state and got an abortion, because legislation on the books right now to still prosecute you for that. So don't say that, okay? You know, the best thing you can do if you really want to keep your whatever private is to have a direct conversation with the person in, you know, in real life with no electronic devices at all, except for a cone of silence and EMP devices all around you. Or maybe a little bit better, you know, put a GoFundMe together to move out of that fascist red state. I don't know if it's obvious, but I really don't like Republicans. I think they're fascist and treat everyone that's not a rich white cis man as horrible. And even those they don't treat so great. So yeah, don't vote Republican. All right, cool. Let's see how quickly this video gets banned on YouTube, even though I'm censoring everything out, because that's how it go. The haters just have to false flag my videos and then down they go, even though I haven't actually broken any of those terms of service. So that's really fun. I wish that I wish that there was a YouTube kind of thing, but like that we actually had control over and could decide for ourselves if it was something that should be banned or not. Like, novel idea, ban Nazis, don't ban non-sexual female nipples. Doesn't exist. I've looked. Speaking of hosting our own videos, I actually have taken a little bit of a step towards my Outcast Creator Collective idea that I had a while ago. So the basic premise of Outcast Creator Collective is that it's a support network. The basic idea of Outcast Creator Collective is it's a network for outcast creators like me, like sex workers, like, you know, whatever non-ad friendly kind of activism you might be, you know, if it's like how to organize a protest in Iran for women getting killed for not wearing a hijab all the way, you know, anything that's not ad friendly, that's not like, oh, all of a sudden corporations support Black Lives Matter. It's a place for us to gather, to commiserate, to share resources, and also a place for our, you know, fans, followers, supporters, whatever you want to call them, to also come, meet each other, meet us, blah, blah, blah. And what I eventually want to do with it is to establish our own video hosting and basically never have to worry again about having my stuff banned as porn, while, again, like white nationalists and anti-vaxxers and stuff get to become, you know, millionaires off of YouTube, and also be, it's been bastardized, but safe space for creators like me to communicate or whatever. It will be open to sex workers talking about their work. We won't host actual porn, both because I don't want that to take over the platform. Also because that adds a whole other layer of legality to it that I don't have the spoons or technical know-how to deal with. But it would be a place for people to come and be like, hey, I just put this video out or whatever. And also like nudists, naturists, you know, normalized nudity people. I am not specifically that. I am a topless equality activist. It's a whole thing. You should go to my Why I Stopped Calling Myself a Nudist video if you really want to know my thoughts on that. But people like us, people like us, and, you know, again, you don't even have to be an outcast creator. You just have to not freak out if you're going to cross paths with someone like me or a sex worker or whatever. So I haven't been able to come up with the money to start a server like that because you have to actually pay for stuff, and I'm banned from monetization and I can't sell anything and blah, blah, blah. So that's still a pie in the sky goal. However, I realized that I can at least start by making a Discord server, but I realized that I can at least make a Discord server, and I started a Mastodon account, not an instance, because again, you have to have money to host that, but I'm trying out some different instances, making an Outcast Creator Collective account where the goal is to find people on Mastodon, content creators who might feel welcome in something like, you know, the Outcast Creator Collective, and boost their posts and try to encourage them to be a part of the support network. And the Discord, I actually worked really hard on. I spent an entire week reading about and setting up bots and everything like that so that it is again, I hate that this term has been like turned into a joke, but a safe space for creators who are used to getting banned to be able to talk about our work and everything like that. Right. Anyway, that was a lot. I hopefully was able to convey some of it in a somewhat coherent way. Again, it's very like blind leading the blind, but I did. I wanted to put some info out there to hopefully get people to realize that, you know, the websites are always tracking you, and it's not just a matter of targeted ads. It is literally, you could be arrested, you could be targeted by, you know, Nazis and hate crimes. All this stuff can be very bad. So as much as you can, it would be good for you to be aware of and do what you can to mitigate having your info and your private whatever out there on the internet for anyone who wants to find it. I also do want to highly encourage you to quit Twitter if you have not. I actually recorded a whole video about that. I haven't edited it yet because I am debating if I want to re-record it because it's kind of a mess. But if you're still on Twitter, why? Twitter is dying. Twitter is just swimming with Nazis, with trolls, with, yeah, terrible people who are actively being encouraged to use the platform now. And also Twitter's security team and everything like that is decimated. Most of the people have already been fired or quit. So speaking of internet security, everything you have on Twitter, like if you verified with your phone number, it's just sitting out there ready to be hacked. So really strongly urge you to get off Twitter and also get off Facebook. Guess what? If everyone would stop saying, I can't get off Facebook or I'll lose contact with the other Facebook users, if you all would get off Facebook, then you would be off Facebook and you wouldn't have to use Facebook to talk to each other. Be the trendsetter. Be the one that says, you know, it is more convenient for me to use Facebook, but also I don't want to be a supporter of a rich, soulless, corrupt tech bro who is going to sell my data to foreign governments and ad agencies and directly endanger the lives of all sorts of marginalized people for profit. I'm gonna get off Facebook. You can get on Mastodon. You can actually talk to people directly using some of the things that I just mentioned, like Matrix and stuff like that. There are options to not use Facebook and still be in contact with people. You can do a phone call, although if you're a millennial like me, that's basically out the window because phone calls are intense and terrifying and blah, 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 blah. There are options besides using Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Please pursue them. Please try to cut that umbilical cord. You will feel better for it. Oh yeah, one other final reason that you should quit Twitter is it's a little harder to see this. I hit my arm, that actually hurt. Should not have hit my arm that hard. It's kind of hard to see this when you're on Twitter, but Twitter is a horrible place. Even before Elon Musk took over, Twitter is a very toxic, mean, divisive, like just shit show, you know, horrible place, because that's literally how they make money. The more engagement a post gets, more likes, comments, retweets, quote tweets, blah, 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 the more people see it, then Twitter goes, look at all these people seeing this post, sells it to ad companies. So to get more money, they will push the most derisive whatever post to the top because it gets them the most money. This negatively affects your own viewpoint. You will become angrier. You will become quicker to assume the worst of other people. And yes, a lot of people out there are fucking terrible, but screaming at them that they're terrible is not going to make them less terrible. I cannot tell you how many posts I see daily from people who came over to Mastodon from Twitter talking about how less horrible it is, how they can breathe, how they can actually get to know people and post about stuff without having to worry about being misquoted and dogpiled by some asshole who quote retweets them to their millions of followers and goes, look at this piece of shit. Like the freedom of actually getting to have conversations and be seen as a person, not just this single sentence to be dunked upon. It really is wonderful. It really is good. You can have serious conversations about serious concepts and issues about like racial equality and queerness and blah, blah, blah. And those conversations do regularly happen on Mastodon. They just don't condone the screaming at each other format and encourage, you know, actual conversations, actually having the capacity to learn to be a better person because you're not being screamed at. So that's the final point I'm going to make. All right. This is a really fucking long video. No one is going to watch. But if you're hearing this right now, then obviously you're watching it. So thanks for watching, and join our Discord, join the Outcast Creator Discord, follow me on Mastodon, share my posts to your social media of choice so new people can find them. Just use the censored version if you're going to post it to Facebook or Instagram or whatever so you don't get banned. If you'd like to do a video with me, if you'd like me to interview you and ask you about this or whatever other subject you're interested in, I'm always looking for interesting people to interview. You can go to toplesstopics.org/interviews to see my past interviews and to contact me if you are interested in it. Invite me to be on your podcast. I love to talk. I'll talk about anything for hours, as you can obviously see. And yeah, come hang out with my live streams. Like I said, Tuesdays, Thursdays, 12 to 3 p.m. PST on joystick.tv/. u/topics or in our Discord, topics.org/chat. And I do clothed live streams on Twitch Saturdays, 3 to 7 p.m. PST, where I play games or I draw, you know, safe for work pictures or work in Blender or whatever. We'd love to have you. I love to talk to people and get to know them and, you know, have parasocial no, I'm just kidding. You guys are my real friends, you know, I'm not famous, so I can actually connect with you guys, which is nice. Okay, I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ. Bye.